Hello, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to my channel. I am here with some messages that wanted to be shared today. I took a little break. We went away for the weekend and I had a lot kind of going on that last week. So I am back with more regular content. Today, I wanted to come on and share some messages. When I was going into the energy fields, I was really feeling completion. They wanted me to talk about completion today. So I will dive into that. But what you might be noticing right now or this week or whenever you're really listening to this is I've been noticing a lot of this fragmentation between the old and the new. And it's almost this old template, this snag that's there is kind of getting in the way of the new that's coming in right now. So if you've been feeling this really strange kind of push-pull energy, you can feel things speeding up, but there's a bit of overwhelm. Also being mindful of fear right now. There's a lot of fear trying to pull you back into an old loop that's not there. It's not where you want to be. So really affirming the new, really stepping in and focusing on this new energy that you're stepping into, because right now you get to co-create. You get to create what you want to experience next. There is a lot of glitching I've been noticing between this old and new, like action and stalling, like what do I do? But it's because there is a timeline speeding up right now, and there is like a new timeline that you're stepping into, and it feels very accelerated. So if you've been feeling this, if you've been finding a little bit glitchy, or you've been kind of like, I don't know, there's like an old template, an old default mode that you keep going back to, and you want to find a greater awareness around it. And if you're feeling the message, I highly recommend the group channeling replay that I did last week. It was so powerful. What ended up happening was so potent and powerful for everybody there. Everybody's still emailing me about these experiences and all these shifts that are taking place in their life from this event, where they're really getting clear on what that old template was, and we released it, and there was an unlocking of these hidden gifts and abilities, which is a huge theme right now. So I really recommend doing that. I know a lot of people had some very powerful experiences in it. It was so potent. It was so powerful. I know I experienced such a huge activation from it as well, which happens as I'm the channel. I open up and I channel it through, and I'm also moving through the experience as well. And what ended up happening was so unplanned. I mean, it never really is. I never know what I'm going to be doing. I just kind of go in and do it. And it was so synchronistic for so many people there. And I just want you to know that if you get the replay, it's just as potent, it's just as powerful, and it's something that you can experience more than once, and you might gain different experiences from. So it's all in the link in the show notes. But I wanted to bring on, when I was really opening up the field, I kept seeing and feeling this sense of completion, and they wanted me to talk about completion energy. So there is a completion and a perception shift happening right now, or what you might be experiencing, or maybe there's confirmation that you need to know about something that is completed. You've gained the lesson, you've gained the experience, you've moved through the tests, you've completed an experience, you've passed the lessons, you gained all you needed to from these lessons, these tests, these soul experiences. And what's happening is all these soul lessons and patterns that have been there, the loops are closing down on them, right? There's a completion around it. And there's a moving onward. Okay. And why you need to know this, because when a lot of you need to know that you're not in that old energy that you keep glitching back into, it's time to move forward and move on from these experiences. I'm going to share a few different messages around how this completion energy might be showing up for you, how you might be experiencing it. But, when you have completed a really deep soul lesson or a soul pattern, or this thing that you just can't seem to shake, when you've completed something, it's no longer there. Okay. It's closed down. The contract's complete. You might notice that your perception is shifting towards that thing. So maybe you're having these moments where you're looking back and there's an upgraded perception of yourself, and there's an upgraded perception of the experience of what you've moved through, right? The charge of that experience is no longer there. You've experienced it all, and you're able to move forward as if it's no longer there, right? And some of you are kind of glitching out, I'm seeing, because this has been such a long running difficult pattern or challenge or experience or something you've been moving through, soul contracts, these are all completed, and you're kind of stuck there in this in between of like fragmenting between the old and the new, right? You're like, wait, you mean I can just like walk out of the cage? Like it's that kind of feeling like this thing is no longer there, or no longer part of your experience. This challenge, this lesson, this difficulty is no longer there. And what happens when that lesson is complete, and what you might be experiencing is that there's this sudden shift in this problem that was once rooting you. That issue is no longer there to hold you back. So what you might be experiencing is like these spontaneous healing moments. Spontaneous healing around the issue of concern or what you've been moving through. So you might notice that, it could be money or love or health or, visibility or healing or some kind of experience like a health issue, money, love, relationships, patterns that have been playing out for a very long time, lifetimes, okay, even ancestral patterns. You've moved through all the lessons of these experiences of what you've been doing. You've gained what you needed, and now it's not there. It's no longer there. You're able to move forward. So what you might be experiencing is these like spontaneous moments where there's a spontaneous healing, and miraculous moments where that issue of concern is no longer there. It's gone. It's as if it never was even there, and you're able to move forward and have a very different experience. So these are things that you might be noticing of yourself, like an area of concern is no longer there. However, there is around it, maybe there's like a big healing experience, and your perception of the problem, of the person, of the experience, of the challenge, of the lesson, which why I'm feeling a lot of you, I'm seeing this like rise up into this bird's eye view of it, being able to look back and down and notice and take on a different perception of that lesson. It's as if your soul is coming through this reviewal moment in your soul records and is looking back on these experiences and going, oh, I was acting from my place of being walled up. Oh, I was acting from an old lens. I was acting from an old filter. Oh, my perception around this person or this situation is now shifted because they're not playing that role in my life anymore. So therefore, it's not bothering me anymore. It's not triggering me anymore. I'm able to look back on this situation with love. I'm able to look back and gain the lesson from it, and able to move forward and understand the deeper why of everything happened the way it did, or why you kept repeating these patterns and lessons in your life. And you're able to look back and have a shift and an upgrade in your perception. So this is what you might notice. There's an upgrade to your perception. And a lot of you need to change your perception towards yourself and upgrade the way that you're viewing yourself because of everything you've been through, all the challenges, all the lessons, all the tests, all the things that you've passed. Even I'm going to get into more of like how this might be playing out because of this completion, right? But it's time to shift the way that you view yourself, and everything around you is going to change. So you might notice and you might really feel this old energy come in, this lingering old wall that you place upon yourself that prevents people from coming in or prevents money or this love or whatever. You might notice that wall, and you might notice how it is your own self. It might not be the other person or the other experience. And now it's time to upgrade the way you see yourself and the way you view yourself, what you're doing, your work, what you've been through, your own energy. Your perception of self needs to change in order to bring in all this stuff that wants to come in for you. You have to recognize your worth. You have to recognize who you really are, and the power that you hold. And this is such a huge theme around personal power, because so many people have been operating, who are incredibly powerful souls, are operating from a very disempowered place because they're not able to see themselves fully. They're not able to see the truth of who they are because of past life experiences, ancestral imprints, and even in this lifetime, right? There's these wounding where you took it on to dim yourself down in some way. But what's needed right now is this perception to shift around yourself, around the experiences, because those experiences are likely not going to bother you anymore. Those people and patterns, they're not going to trigger you the same way because your perception around it, you're able to see from a new lens of the experience. The walls around it are coming off, and there's a lot opening right now as to various aspects and roles and situations in your life that you find yourself in. You might even notice that it's coming from this place of a wall that you are taking on a false perception. It's like false light, right? And sometimes there is truth to it, but sometimes you're acting from this old lens. You're seeing from this old filter that is ready to be released. And those patterns are just playing out as a way for you to recognize who you are, to remove the filter, recognize your worth, recognize your true self, gain the lessons, pass the test, right? Which you've done, you've completed. And then that your perception around the thing is changing, right? When you change the way you see things, it changes. That's a Wayne Dyer quote, actually. It's coming through right now. I'm very connected to him. He comes through a lot for me. But I think he's saying, change the way you see things, and the way you see things will change, is what he's saying. Which I feel like is his quote. He's coming in very strong right now. And that is just like this new perception that needs to change around yourself, around the patterns, around the experiences, because you're going to notice a shift in everything right now, right? So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, about what you might notice around these spontaneous healing moments where this weight is lifted, this thing that can't seem to break through is shifted, and you've completed something. So you might notice that problems that used to be there plaguing you, the debts have been paid, the karma has been paid, and there's a lot of repayment happening, a lot of they're saying retribution. So you might notice in your experience where you're going into it from the old lens, but these loving new soul friends or soul agreements, whatever, are coming through to show you the opposite, the truth of who you are. Not from the old karmic place where you're attracting that old energy, but they're coming in to help you move on from that. And that comes with the releasing of the walls. I don't know why that's coming through, but there's obviously a reason for it. When you have completed something, you might notice a huge flow come in, and I think there's a lot of new energy coming in right now. I feel with this completion, I feel like a lot of new energy. I'm feeling a lot of opening and things speeding up. So right now there's a lot of energy opening, and if you can just sit with the energy, but there's also a big emotional release happening. A release of something, an unleashing of something. I'm feeling an opening of something. So this could be like an emotional release that has been building, an energy release. It also could be a release of creativity, of channeling, of healing energy moving through you. There's some kind of opening that's happening as a result of this completion. Okay. Really be clear. Don't hook into a timeline of fear, hook into the higher timeline that you want to see, because we're really consciously creating our realities right now. Everything is shifting around the way that you manifest. Everything is energy. I've been really channeling a lot on this. I don't know what it's going to be yet. There's something that I've been downloading and channeling, and I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be yet, but I'm in the process of it. And there's so much I have to share, because everything around the way that manifestation works, the way that we move through things, the way things happen is all shifting. And there's such a new way, like there's a timeline speeding up. So as a result of this completion, right, what you may notice is that there's these undeniable pulls, these moments in your where it feels like something bigger is taking over. And it's this undeniable pull, this bold move that you need to make where you don't need to second guess. Don't go back to the default. You need to go all the way in on this. And that's where you're going to have to move forward. I feel like this energy moving you forward, and bold moves, bold shifts. You don't need a sign. Again, if you're feeling that where you glitch out and you go back into this old mode of like, whatever it is, I would recommend doing that replay. I'm really feeling like actions and answers are coming in, like overnight shifts of creations of moves you need to make, things you need to do. It's like this overwhelming knowing and undeniable pull that's coming forward, because energy wants to move. You can really feel it in the body. It's like the felt in the body. I feel like a lot of you are either in that energy. Some of you are already kind of feeling the sensing of like a speeding up moment, but they're overwhelmed. Breathe into the overwhelm because your body's going to move you forward and you're going to know. Time is just really speeding up and you're adjusting to the pace of the energy and the new energy that's coming in. And so don't glitch out. Don't go into like a weird moment or an old moment. Really breathe into the new energy that's coming in with this completion. Is that you're moving onward to bigger things. You've outgrown something, right? There's a huge chance that what you've been doing now, you might notice a career change. You might notice something shift. Yeah, a lot of career changes, things that you've been doing might no longer feel right anymore. And you're being asked to really trust in that because there's a new direction for some of you. You've outgrown it. So follow that pull, follow the knowing, because there's a lot shifting here around careers. You might notice a career shift. You might notice, things shift with what you're doing in your business or whatever it may be. There is something bigger that you're stepping into and you've literally unlocked a new set of possibilities. So really listening to that because you've likely outgrown whatever role you've been in and it's time for an upgrade. It's time for a new role. So just noticing and feeling these these shifting moments because there's a lot shifting right now. Life is really getting you onto your highest timeline. You might notice is a fast track and a timeline acceleration. There is a big acceleration happening. Something's like right in front of you. Don't sit in that scattered, fragmented energy. If you are in that a little bit, it's about getting outside. Just go breathe in nature. Take a moment away from whatever you're doing. Just breathe into the energy because you're experiencing a lot of activations right now. A lot of new energy coming in. As a result of this completion energy, your hidden gifts and talents and information is opening up, right? Hidden truths, hidden information, things that have been locked away are opening up right now. And they're unlocking as a result of all the work that you've done, all the tests that you've passed, the things you've been through have all prepared you for this moment to unlock really next level gifts. Some of you are really opening up your gifts, your creativity. And some of you, it's really like a next level ability that's coming forward. It feels like really new gifts that you're downloading. But all of this is unlocking and opening, a lot of past life stuff opening, a lot of ancestral gifts are being passed on right now. And it's really escalated. It's happening at an escalated pace. I've been noticing that with a lot of clients, mentorship clients. A lot of that is happening right now. You no longer need to hold yourself in that old energy. There are new sets of possibilities that you are opening up to. New sets of experiences become available that previously weren't available. So a lot of you are opening up to new knowledge, new information, new ideas. Childhood gifts are opening up. This hidden gifts, these talents, hidden truths are opening up. Things being revealed, things being opened up to you. Things that maybe weren't possible before are possible. You're opening up to new pathways, new abilities, new creativities as a result of all this completion. So another thing that's happening is new soul connections are coming in. Now, these soul connections have a very magnetic quality to them. Okay, it's almost like this soul level knowing that you know them. You've experienced this and it feels easy. It feels very effortless. And this could be in romantic relationships. It also could be in friendships, but it is a lot of new is coming in. Okay. And a lot of new soul connections are coming in. It's like this feeling like we've done this before. They feel very magnetic. It feels like very much like it moves along quickly because you guys know each other. You know the role. You've done this before. It feels like your soul origin, your soul family coming in. And when this happens, these connections have a very magnetic quality to them and they can move along quite quickly because there is this like almost like catching up over lost time. So these can come together and it feels very easy. It feels very effortless. It's just like you might even catch yourself off guard a little bit because of how, just how familiar it feels and how easy and familiar it can feel and how things can pick up and you can really feel like you can trust these people. I'm also seeing yeah, your soul origin, soul family. I'm also seeing these like other star systems are coming together, star ancestors coming in. But with that completion energy, you might notice like a whole new set of people are ready to come in. And it's like it's just a whole new vibe with these people. But what's happening in the in between and what I've seen with clients is that there's this should, as you're in the in between, there's new coming in, there's something reorganizing, you can kind of feel it, but there's this temptation of like, well, I let go of these experiences. Should I feel obligated to go back into them? Should I reconnect because I'm just kind of here? Whatever. I'm free, right? And that is kind of like a moment to hold your field and what you know about what was revealed to you about these connections, or maybe like just what you felt, and trusting in that you might not need, it's not about going back into old situations. It's just about holding the space for all the new to come in. Some of you, that comes with a location shift is happening. Maybe you traveled, but I feel like there's some kind of location shift that might happen with that as well as a result of completion, right? Again, changes to your work, career, changes to your purpose, something new coming in because you've outgrown that experience, you've outgrown what you've done, and you're ready for an upgrade. So again, you might notice all these different things as a result of what you've moved through, what you've completed, and you need to know, and you need to hear like a celebration. There's a huge celebration for you. Congratulations, you moved through those experiences. You've done what you needed to do. Don't hold on. It's time to move forward. You are ready. You're more ready than you think, and you have a lot of support behind you. There's a lot of energy behind you. And a lot of you can surrender and relax into this knowing, into this feeling that this has been completed. And you might notice a lot of shifts as to shifts in money, shifts in career, shifts in visibility, shifts in, relationships, love. All those things that you've worked through are no longer there to hold you back. And now you can step forward and move forward in such a new way. And I feel like some of you are noticing these glimmers of this new coming in and this boldness that's coming in as a result of you choosing the new of how it's going to be. And you choose it, right? We create in a new way, and it's about you choosing and setting the energy, setting the field for that space, for how others treat you, for what you are choosing in your life. You get to choose that timeline. You get to choose the energy and the vibration of what you're stepping into. So I feel like a lot of you, again, this like hidden gifts, hidden information, unlocking the next level of your abilities are really coming forward. And you might notice that all these areas of challenge and issue and lessons are no longer part of your experience because you're moving forward and you're so ready. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will speak to you guys in the next one. If you could like, comment, subscribe, all of that, just totally love hearing how this lands for you. Are you feeling this completion energy? Was this a little bit of confirmation for something for you? I hope that if anything, you can really sit with that energy and know that you get to choose the new timeline. So which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the fear, the familiar, the old, outdated, or are you going to choose this new frequency that you're stepping into? And that's where you want to be in moving forward, because there's so much happening. There's so much accelerating. There's so much moving onward and forward and at an accelerated pace. So have a great day. Speak to you in the next one.